Once Hernandez was apprehended, Teresa James and his wife Marilyn made their way back to Genevieve's in an attempt to render aid. But it was too late. Her lifeless body was laying face down on the kitchen floor. The officers were immediately told that Genevieve had young children and that they were believed to be in the house. Her son was found huddled in a bedroom closet, visibly terrified. Teresa, Robert's wife who had suffered years of abuse, and now the loss of her best friend, was inconsolable. She had grown close to Genevieve's family, specifically her mother and children. She was riddled with guilt and didn't know how she could ever face them. Unfortunately, she would never get the chance. After her statement was taken, Teresa was escorted by law enforcement to the airport, where she boarded a plane home to her family. Never returning to Texas.
Meanwhile, back at the police station, Hernandez fully confessed. There was a mountain of evidence stacked against him. Not only were there several eyewitnesses, he was found covered in blood at the scene. All 5 murder weapons were also found there, 2 of which were on him, and the handwritten letters he aimed to plant in an attempt to frame his wife. Taken from Hernandez himself: 1 pair of camouflage pants blood, 1 pair of Reebok's rubber sandals blood, light brown t-shirt blood, camouflage fatigue top long sleeve shirt blood, pair of olive green socks, 1 watch blood, pair of underwear black red. Blood evidence taken from Hernandez's physical body: blood stained from left hand thumb, blood stain from left palm, blood stain from top of left hand, blood stain right hand palm, blood stain from top of right hand. When fleeing from the scene, Robert Hernandez was seen discarding a red backpack. That backpack was recovered and the contents inside included 1 roll of masking tape, 1 handwritten note list, 1 6-page handwritten letter, 2 white envelopes, 2 black pens, 1-page handwritten note, 2 back braces, 1 black waist support, 1 white belt with Teresa's name on it, 1 roll of elastic bandages, 2 clear plastic it bags, 1 safety pin. Deputies found the various items to be consistent with a plan to kidnap a person and then items that could be used to restrain a person. The list Robert Hernandez wrote: letters to GPC, fuck her royally, restrain her, plant letters, stay until Jenny shows up, then leave no later than 6 o'clock. It was the opinion of the investigators that this note was the plan of action, which Robert Hernandez Jr. had developed in the process of planning the kidnapping and murder of Genevieve Finn. It is the opinion of the investigators that the roll of masking tape and other waist support items and restraining belt were to be used to restrain his wife, Teresa. The other letters found in the backpack also support the plan at which Robert Hernandez Jr. outlined, which stated plant letters. The first letter that Robert Hernandez Jr. had planned to plant at the scene, which was 1 page in length, read: "My friend, well, this is pretty hard, but it'll have to do. I still have those feelings for you, but I don't show them. That's really the hard part. Hey, just want to say hi. Teresa."
This next part is Robert Hernandez's handwritten letters he left behind at the scene. Please bear with me. They are extremely hard to decipher due to the grammar, spelling, punctuation, and just basic understanding. It didn't seem as though he was very educated.
The 6-page letter found in the backpack actually consists of 1 2-page letter and 1 4-page letter. The first page of the 2-page section is addressed to Robert, and as follows: "Robert, let me begin with, I don't know why, but I just did. I get, as you would say, a hard-on by making people miserable. I love this community. You were right, everyone is easy to get along with. That's the reason why I lied and pled you were a bad person. Also, the truth is, I'm not ready to settle down. Paul will only because you look to him and Jenny. I don't want to be a nurse. It was just small talk with those two. Gullible dumbass. One, a woman with 2 kids, different fathers, who is way too judgmental. The other, because he made everything easier for me to make you hurt. Just because you were too gullible, actually the biggest one of them all. I tell you more, but ask Jenny, she'll fill you in. Ha! I've left and will return when my rent is due to take my stuff. Have fun in jail even though you're actually innocent. Good luck. Explain this one. Always getting the better hand. XXX." Investigators believe Hernandez wrote this letter to himself, attempting to disguise it as Teresa had written it. Its intended purpose was to explain the absence of Teresa, while at the same time sway law enforcement to think that the pending charges against Robert were false. Robert was facing time after being charged for assault and battery causing bodily injury. Blank. Time to be honest, I would have told you today, but it just didn't seem right. This is a chicken shit way to do this, but hey, it works. I have lied to you from day one. XXX never did anything wrong to me, except love me too much. He has been the perfect husband, and I just didn't want to be tied down. You and everyone else made it easy for me to make my exit and end this chapter of my life. I can't believe y'all bought my stories from day one. I was too easy. It blew my mind when you would believe me, an outsider to someone you've known all your life. Too easy. Paul, well, he has nothing I would ever want compared to what I had. Looks Robert wins, body Robert wins, and being trustworthy. Robert wins. Robert may have been miserable, but he would have never messed around on me. Everybody in this one-horse town made it easy because y'all are too gullible. The reason I ever mentioned Paul was because Robert looked up to him and you too. He wanted to be like you and Paul because he said you had your head on straight. You see, my pleasure is watching someone be miserable. But when Robert started to become a better aide than me, I hated it. Especially when I knew that once he took the med aid class he would pass, and I wouldn't. It's no big thing, but he is smarter than me. The other thing is for about 3 months on my day off when he was working, I slept with anyone, even his family, Jesse. I guess I screwed 9 different people and nobody did it right but Robert. I guess that's all I'm going to miss from this time, but shit happens. I've gone with Josh, and he is taking me to Georgia to be with my family until I find another sucker. He's a guy from Uvalde who I've been seeing regularly. I'll be back to get my stuff and make my quitting right. But I've sucked the life from this person, so my deed is done. I would have stayed, but now that he is going to jail, it's going to take the fun out of it. Thanks for making this easy. Ha. Ha. XXX. That was brutal to read. The narcissism behind those letters was nauseating. Robert Hernandez Jr. went there that night to kidnap his wife and murder a young mother who he believed was getting in the way. Genevieve wasn't supposed to be there that night. Sadly, that wouldn't have mattered. Like his letter said, he would have waited for her to come home. Had local law enforcement looked at the seriousness of the situation versus the longevity of personal relationships, maybe Hernandez would have been put away sooner. But even so, domestic violence laws are decades behind. They are now, and were even more so then.
Robert Zamora Hernandez Jr. fully confessed to the unaliving of Genevieve Finn and the attempted kidnapping of his wife Teresa. He was convicted of first-degree premeditated and sentenced to life in prison. Genevieve Finn was a young mother, just days from her 21st birthday. An amazing friend, she took Teresa in an effort to help her escape the clutches of domestic violence. She fought hard for the life of her friend, her 2 innocent children, and ended up losing her own at the hands of Robert Zamora Hernandez Jr., a 6-foot, 190-pound military-trained monster. She was a hero.
After reviewing reports, speaking with neighbors, law enforcement, and people who were actually there, this is the true story behind the events that unfolded that horrific night of December 1st, 1996. It's important to dissolve the lies behind his alleged wife, Tara Ionescu, aka Fraud Reaper's stories. To quote her friend, "No one gives a fuck about Reaper's alleged husband. She is 100% right, as long as he remains behind bars for the remainder of his natural life. What people do give a fuck about is her relentless lying, not about one thing, but an abundance of things, and continues to today. She speaks of and has treated the victims like shit, shaming them and even blaming them for his monster's actions. She causes unnecessary fear and resurfaces trauma, announcing on a public platform that he will be released soon, which he absolutely will not. But trying to get someone to believe that they're safe when they've been looking over their shoulder for the past 27 years is extremely difficult when someone is throwing around the possible reality of their nightmare, due to the delusional words of a pathological liar. She and now others claim he's a good man when he's anything but. If she can lie about the details regarding something as serious as this, what else does she lie about? The answer is a lot. You can't deem yourself the accountability police when you are unable to hold yourself accountable for things far worse than what you're accusing people of. Again, Reaper didn't lie about one thing. She only admitted to one thing she lied about. The male victim was really female. She then dissolved the microfraction of accountability she took by blaming the family, who had no idea who she was when I spoke with them.